Hello guys, Sergio here. We have the first Prydwen tier list for Chaos Zero Nightmare. Yeah! If you have been playing gacha games for a while like yours truly, you will probably know that Prydwen tier lists sometimes can question our whole mental sanity, because sometimes they look like they're made by an AI that doesn't even know what kind of game they're talking about. Since this is the first one for Chaos Zero Nightmare, I wanted to have a look at it, see what I agree with, what I disagree with, and whether it's at the very least reasonable. And a thing that I noticed the moment I had a brief look at it is that they did something to which I agree quite significantly, which is the fact they did not make a tier list for Chaos Manifestation, and they say that it's a game mode with absurd freedom and the ability to allow any character to shine. And it's true, there is so much RNG in Chaos Manifestation that it doesn't really make sense to have a regular tier list, because you can make any character work as long as you get busted stuff along the way to the final boss. So I agree with the fact that what is really important is how does a character perform in Dimensional Twilight, which is the endgame mode, which is tied by turns in terms of rewards for Chaos Zero Nightmare. So for now, Prydwen scores a +1. In the DPS slot, they put Tier 0 Doggy Boy, Tier 1 Haru, Chiron, Meilin, Renoa, and Rin, and Tier 2 our good friend Luke. For the most part, I agree. The fact that Hugo is very strong and is extremely easy and reliable to play, and he can be paired with virtually anyone, makes him a clear T0 unit, and I absolutely agree with this. I would personally move up here Haru as well, and Meilin for different reasons. Meilin, on a good turn that you set up properly, can dish out a crazy amount of single target damage, and it's not particularly difficult to do so. Haru doesn't have any combo. She just spams Anchor Shot and has ways to buff the damage of Anchor Shot by herself. Her damage is not particularly shiny or crazy or anything like that, but it's consistent and reliable, and it's something that I really like. And I would definitely move her in a tier 0 for that reason alone. While I would leave in tier 1 Chiron, Rin, and Renoa. Chiron and Renoa because their wombo combo turns are insane, and they would be tier above everything else. The problem is you cannot set up the wombo combo turn every single turn, or it will not be a wombo combo. And there are some turns when you play Chiron and Renoa that are like, God, this is death, just end me, because nothing is happening. It depends on the lack of draw. So I definitely agree having them a slightly tier below. Arena has to manage her buffs, and if you do not have all the cards available to set up a crazy turn, her damage output feels a bit weak. And a thing that I mentioned even in a few of my videos, right now our characters do not have builds. They have random trash that we put on them. And Rin has a lot of stuff, as well as a signature fragment set that boosts her crit damage, but her critical rate at the moment is S. Later on, I'm sure her performance will be much better and reliable. Luke, unfortunately, at the moment is a character who is lagging a bit behind other damage dealers, so I agree having him in tier 2. I believe that he's missing some better support specific for him. He's not bad, by the way. The characters that are in tier 2 are not bad by any extent, just their performance is a little bit mid. Support DPS, we have Veronica's goated, and Tressa. Tressa, I was surprised to see how good she was at release, because she was busted during the limited playtest, and as a 4-star, who is a free character, who is a damage dealer, I was expecting her to get some kind of nerf at release, but no, she's still busted. And the fact that she performed extremely well as the partner for arguably the best 5-star in the game really skyrockets her value. It was a great move by Smilegate to have a free character who is so good at her job. And honestly, in the team with the Hugo, I don't even know who is the damage dealer, because all the agony that she applies can deal crazy amounts of damage. And both Tressa and Selena are like support DPS, kinda DPS for Beryl, depending on how you want to build her, but they're a very solid second slot in a multitude of teams. Lucas and Owen, irrespective of the Owen drama from our Korean friends, Owen is not great, but he's very playable. Because you start the game with Owen being a damage dealer, and then, depending on who you get from the standard banner, beginner banner, or whatever, he can be your second damage dealer, supporting the main damage dealer. So, not as. Very decent. Here I disagree. I heavily disagree with one rating, and I agree with one, but it has to be explained. The one that I heavily disagree with is Nia. Nia should be here, and in some teams Mika is better, in some teams Nia is better. And it's not like 99% of teams want Mika, 1% of teams want Nia. No. If you have a kind of team that really wants to set up specific combos or they need to cycle into certain cards, you prefer Nia. Whereas if you have a team that is tanky and very action point hungry, like Haru teams, you want Mika. Mika is going to allow all your character combatants to do multiple action per turns while also healing up any chip damage that you take. But I really disagree with Nia being one tier below Mika, because they're both amazing supports. They just do slightly different things, so they fit better different characters, but they're both amazing supports. I agree that specifically for my Dimension Twilight, Cassius needs to take a step back, because if you have played him in Chaos Manifestation, he's insane, because you start to create quest after quest after quest and creating a million cards that either draw cards or deal damage. He's insane, but it takes 5 hours to get going. So, and you really, to really get the value out of these quests. So, still good in Dimension Twilight, but a slight step back. Rei is a very solid support, but she's really good only for 2 characters in the game, arguably 3, but mostly for 2 characters in the game. And those 2 are Kairon and Renoa, and arguably Rin. But I would not always play Rei with Rin. So yeah, a step back is required. Orlea. We need to talk about Orlea, because I'm Orlea's number 1 shield. I had them during the playtest, and she was the most busted character on my account, where I had every character. But her bustedness really only shines in Chaos Manifestation, where some of the boss fights can go on for quite some time, and you do not have a turn requirement. And in those fights, Orlea's retain cards that every turn, for free, at the end of a turn, you get some healing, you get some buffs to your attack cards, or you have Swifty that you keep it in hand, and its damage keep going up and up and up until it's in the thousands of damage range. In Chaos Manifestation, amazing. In Dimension Twilight, I unfortunately 100% agree with Orlea being a little bit questionable in terms of value. But a little disclaimer. How long are you going to spend each month in Dimension Twilight? How long are you going to spend each month in Chaos Manifestation? The game has been released for, let's say, 10 days, something like that. Less than 2 weeks. I have an embarrassing amount of hours. I think I'm probably close to 100 hours, if not more, in Chaos Zero Nightmare. 80% of time is in Chaos Manifestation of different forms. It can be the Zero system or the regular Chaos Manifestation. And I would love to have Orlea on my account. Like, but Sir Grindel, she's not meta in Dimension Twilight. Yeah, but it's like very little time every few weeks when it resets. Overall, in terms of account value, for me, I'm a roguelike enjoyer, so I enjoy Chaos Manifestation a lot. Orlea is like, pew, like it's off the chart. But yeah, if we only value her for Dimension Twilight, she's a bit cope. Shielder, yeah, she got nerfed. Good old Calipe got nerfed from the playtest, but she's still absolutely insanely strong. I play her in a team with Haru because we have some nice synergy with each other. Because Haru's cards are very expensive, meaning that Calliope can throw her Vulture Rejection for free. So if you create a save file for Calliope with a multiple Vulture Rejection, it's going to be insane, because every turn you do crazy single target with her, some AoE damage with her, and you generate shield all for free. It's absolutely absurd. But she can be your main shielder, she could be your main damage dealer, especially against AoE opponents, and she's absolutely insane. Absolutely broken character. She was nerfed, but not enough. Magna good, but she has a little bit of the same issue as Orlea. In Chaos Manifestation, her counter-attack mechanics, as well as Maribel's counter-attack mechanics, very good, because the fights are going to last very long, and you really get a lot of value from their abilities. In the Dimension Twilight, counter-attack only works during the enemy's turn, which is annoying because it's taking you an extra turn to do things. And if the enemy is not attacking during a turn because they're setting up some buffs or shields, you're wasting a turn. And it's quite obnoxious to play in Dimension Twilight. So, yeah, very strong characters, but not ideal for Dimension Twilight. And unfortunately, Amir was supposed to get some great reworks before release that made her really shine as the 3-4 star that we got for what is it called, signing up to the game, but she's extremely forgettable in terms of performance. So all in all, I would say, compared to many other tier lists from Prydwen, especially for Honkai Star Rail and Zenitsu Zero Nightmare, that essentially gave me chlamydia in the brain by reading them, this first tier list for Chaos Zero Nightmare, actually not too bad. Actually not too bad. I would have made very minor changes that I could have seen them going either way, and the only one with whom I really disagree is Nia should be here. Everything else, very reasonable. Good job, Prydwen. If you did it manually, because you have someone who plays the game, good job. If you used an AI, good AI.